Hello, my name is Sunita Coe, and I am the Administrative Analyst in the Office of Student Engagement. I want to thank you all for joining us today for our BizFest event. This session will cover Beta Alpha Psi and Financial Planning Association. Today, you'll hear from leaders about each organization, followed by a few hosted panel questions, and lastly, you'll have a chance to ask any questions you may have to determine if these may be a good fit for you. So before we get started, I want to go over some housekeeping items. First, please click on the sign-in link. I dropped the link in the chat box already. Go ahead and check in there. This is a way for us to register, to know that you attended and you're registered to be entered in the raffle for our DoorDash $15 e-gift card. Students will be randomly selected and emailed their e-gift cards by the code next week. Next, be aware that we are recording today's event. We may share the recording and presentation via email or website in the future. Your participation in this event acts as your consent to be recorded during today's presentation. And in addition, I'm sure it goes without being said, but please keep all comments appropriate or we may deem it necessary to remove you from the event. Lastly, the session is limited to 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome Beta Alpha Psi to the virtual stage.
Hi, everyone. My name is Loredana, and I am the national correspondent at Beta Alpha Psi. And I'll be presenting today what our organization is about. So we represent the accounting, finance, and MIS students. And Beta Alpha Psi is an honor organization, which means that we have a couple of requirements for our members. And we also are an international organization, which means that we have multiple chapters in the United States and also even around the world, which is awesome because we have different kind of meetings, like annual meetings, or we get to connect with more chapters around the world. And I have I don't know if I can share my screen and show the calendar of the events that we the upcoming events that we have. So for September, we already had some workshops at the beginning of the month, and we are planning on holding similar workshops in the future because those are very helpful for our new members because that's the feedback that we got. So it's resume workshop and LinkedIn. We already had our info night on September 10th, and we had an immersion day on the 12th. Those are two required events. However, there is ways to make up the hours for those events in case you missed them. And also the immersion day is recorded, and we have a page on Canvas where all our members can access those recordings. So our first tech meeting, the tech meeting is our usual meetings during the semester where different firms join us and present. So we have all those meetings on Thursdays, and some of them are joint events with Accounting Society. So as you can see, our calendar is busy, and we have on 17th and 24th, we have our tech meetings. We have a resume review where we actually get professionals join us, and they can see your resume and they can give you some feedback. We also have all of the deadlines for applications for different firms. And on October, we have our biggest event, which is Meet the Firms. Meet the Firm it's like a career fair, but it's only for our members and Accounting Society because it's a joint event. And there are many other events on the calendar, as you can see. However, I'm gonna show you all of them because it's maybe too much. Maybe you have some specific questions that I can answer later. And also our application deadline was this Sunday. However, I'll extend if somebody is interested in applying. And yes, that's pretty much it about Beta Alpha Psi.
Well, thank you, Lori Donna, for sharing. So next we have a Financial Planning Association. Go ahead and take it away.
Sunita, if I may, while Christopher is figuring out his technical difficulties, I can speak for the club.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Financial Planning Association is a part of the Financial Planning Association of Northern California. That is a large association of professional financial planners, and they meet monthly. We are a chapter of that at Sac State. So you are not obligated, if you were to be a member of Financial Planning Association at Sac State, you are not obligated to attend the meetings of the Financial Planning Association of Northern California, but you're welcome to, and they also provide a discount for membership to Sac State students. So if you wanted to mingle and to rub elbows with those who are actually doing the business, what you wish to do, then it's an excellent opportunity. Now, in the meantime, if let's say you're not ready for that, we hold meetings roughly every 3 weeks. We'll post a calendar. And what we do is we invite professionals who are active financial planners and investment advisors to come and speak. And we on purpose bring them from different backgrounds, such as working for a wirehouse firm. A wirehouse firm, for example, would be like Edward Jones or Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch. We also have people who have their own business and they're private. So they're not affiliated with those wirehouse firms. And then the private businesses have more latitude in how they operate. So we bring them in to give you a flavor of that's a possibility also. And then we're hoping to bring in some bond investors, which are more on the commercial side as opposed to retail. So that is another possibility within the world of finance, where you would go work for a bond fund and you're managing that fund, or you're assisting to manage that fund. It's not sexy, but they make a lot of money. So our goal is to bring in the professionals for our monthly meetings to let the people who are attending the meetings know what it's like in the real world, meaning more practice, less theory. We get enough theory at school, but we want to know what it's going to be like once we graduate, when we hit the streets. And so that's what we're doing. We're providing that opportunity for people to learn from those who are actually doing it.
Thank you, Dan. I'm not sure if you're able to hear me now.
Yes, we're here. We hear you, Cliff.
Thank you for taking over. My name's Chris. I'm going to be the president of the Financial Planning Association. Dan had already planned on kind of running through on what our club's about and what we have to offer for the students. So yeah, thank you for taking over.
Well, thank you both. All right, so now we are gonna do some panel questions to our club members. So the first question that we have is, when did you first get involved? When would you say is the best time in your academic career to get involved in a business club?
So maybe I can start answering that question. I transferred to Sac State in 2018, and I actually found out about Beta Alpha Psi at the BizFest. And it was a great moment because one of my classmates from community college was in Beta Alpha Psi, and she really encouraged me to apply and get involved, because she told me she could definitely see a big change even in the way she would look at her future career, or even the way she was getting involved at university. So she like recommended me to get involved right away, which I did not do because I was a little bit overwhelmed at the beginning. However, I joined in fall 2019, and I've been in Beta Alpha Sub for 3 semesters now.
Great. What about you, Chris or Dan?
Yeah, this is actually my first time in a club. I've always wanted to be a part of a club, but I've always been kind of reluctant to because I've tried to, or I've focused more on either work and school rather than, getting involved and kind of seeking the opportunities that a club presents. But Dan kind of actually brought the attention to me, what the Financial Planning Association brought to him and kind of the benefits he'd gotten out of that club. So me personally wanting to go into financial advising, I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to get involved in, and kind of on last minute notice, here I am as the president of the Financial Planning Association. So I'm hoping that we could both take that and kind of run with it. So
Awesome. You want to add anything, Dan?
Sure. So I'm a transfer student. I transferred from Sierra College. I started attending Sac State's Accounting Society as a sophomore from Sierra College.
Wow.
So that's a little different. And so I got a good flavor for the club. Once I transferred as a junior, I joined the Beta Alpha Psi, and that's how I met Laura Donna, and she's been in also a couple of my classes. And but then I changed my major from accounting to finance, and so the Financial Planning Association, given my track within finance, is the Certified Financial Planner. It made the most sense because I wanted to mingle with the people, like I say, who are actually doing the job that I aspire to do. And so I've been a member of clubs for several semesters, but for the current club of which I'm a vice president, Financial Planning Association, this is my second semester.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So our next question is, what is the most meaningful event or service you've taken part in through your business club?
I guess I'll go first. My answer is pretty simple. This being my first business club, I haven't really, had a meaningful, experience yet. But I have, been in contact with a lot of financial professionals that are going to be coming in to talk to us, and I feel like that's already a huge step. Just kind of connecting with them and seeing their willingness to connect with the students and members that are going to join our club.
Awesome.
So from my experience, the most meaningful event at Beta Alpha Psi is Meet the Firms. We unfortunately didn't have one last semester. However, when I just joined last fall, I went to Meet the Firms. And after that, I interviewed with 5 companies, and I got some offers, and I actually got a summer internship. And right now I already have my full-time offer. And I would say that was definitely the most important event for me because it made everything more clear right now in my career path.
Great.
I would second that. When I was a member of Beta Alpha Psi, the Meet the Firms was an excellent event, and I met partners of a local accounting firm that I was planning on working for had I stayed in accounting. And so I met a couple of partners there, and I still have a relationship with them, even though I'm not going to be in accounting. So how about that? When it comes to Financial Planning Association, the best meeting was the last meeting that we had before COVID. And that's where we had just an exceptionally sharp individual come in from a local financial planning firm. And she was really able to lay it out in clear, concise language, exactly what it takes and what the steps you go through to get an internship with her firm. And then after your internship, once you become a full-time hire, what life is really like. And so being able to get some of that inside information was just invaluable. So although I could say the event that Meet the Firms with Beta Alpha Psi was just tremendous because they took care of us. But for my club right now, Financial Planning Association, it was our last event before COVID.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so our next question is, what is one way you benefited personally from being in a business club that you wouldn't have expected before joining?
I guess I'll go first. See, in the short time I've been with the club, I, wasn't expecting to, communicate and kind of work with. I mean, I expected to work with others, just not as much as I am. And I just feel like my overall communication with others and kind of working around not only my schedule but other people's schedule to kind of because I know time and is really valuable. So being able to communicate and being precise on what it is you want to get done has really benefited me since I've joined the club.
Awesome.
One thing that benefited me by being a part of Beta Alpha Psi is getting some leadership experience, because it's definitely something that I couldn't even think about myself before, because sometimes it's hard to get out of my comfort zone and put myself out there and talk to professionals and have a lot of interviews. But right now, like, I've been an officer since spring 2020, so it's my second semester, but it definitely put me in a position when I want to help other students as well, because I benefited greatly from Beta Alpha Psi, and I want to give the same opportunity to other students. And of course, I could sharpen my experience in like interview skills, and like communication is big in a club, because it's all us students trying to communicate and be on the same page. So definitely like experience in interviews and communication was the biggest one.
Sunita, you asked what have I gotten out of the clubs that I didn't expect?
Yes.
Nothing. It is exactly what I expected. I was told that I would be able to meet professionals and ask questions and gain information, plus social networking, and it's been exactly that. So I have not been disappointed. And I will say this though, your participation in any of these business clubs, you will get out of it what you put into it. So if you're a shy person, but you want to network and build up some relationships with future employers or potential employers, do your best to be friendly and be conversational and step out of your comfort zone, extend your hand to another person and introduce yourself. That's the best advice I can give you. And if you're already socially adept and it's easy for you, then just get on it, because that's what it takes. And the more people you meet, the more opportunities you'll have in the future.
I definitely agree with you there. All right. Our next question is, how do you feel being in a business club has made you more competitive for your future career?
I'll go first again. I feel that being in a business club is huge. Like Dan was saying, meet these financial professionals, or whatever club it is. You get a network, and whether it be the professional or your fellow members, that connection or just really the connection. It could go beyond the club, whether it be professional opportunities or internships, word of mouth kind of a thing. So, I feel like it's huge, and I feel like it will, or me connecting with these financial professionals and with these members of our club will kind of teach me, or present opportunities to me for the future.
Awesome. All right. And then so our last question, what will you say to a student who thinks they're too busy to join a club? Like what type of time commitments or how many meetings you guys have, anything like that?
I'll go ahead and jump in. That is certainly a consideration, and you need to, be truthful with yourself. If you're taking 18 units There are some clubs that are more demanding than others as far as time and your volunteer services and so forth. So just bear that in mind. I can tell you that with our club, Financial Planning Association, we don't charge any dues. It's free to join. We dress business casual at our meetings, so it's a little less intensive in that as far as that goes. And if you miss a meeting, you miss a meeting. I mean, life, we're all professionals, and we have professionals that come speak to us. So everyone understands that things come up. People have lives and family and whatnot. But as I said before, you will get out of it what you put into it. So if you are thinking that time is an issue, analyze your time. What is your commitment? Are you taking 9 units or 18 units? Weigh it out and be honest with yourself. Because like I say, not all clubs are equal as far as their requirements of participation. So I'll leave you with that.
Very true.
Yeah, in contrast, with Beta Alpha Psi, we have some attendance requirements. However, right now everything is virtual and the meetings are almost always held in the evening. And right now we'll have an opportunity to record everything. So you'll have access to that later. However, we still encourage everybody to join the meetings live, because this is when you get an opportunity to actually meet with professionals, talk to them, hear out like what opportunities they have at the moment. And they actually, you never know when you're gonna find that internship, because even by talking to professionals, they can tell you what opportunities they have, and they just like you so much, they're gonna tell you apply today and we can speak with you tomorrow about your potential internship. So you never know. You would definitely need to be involved to. I'm sorry, it feels like it's been a long day, but it's definitely what you put into it when you show up, and when you actually put yourself out there to let know professionals that you are looking for opportunities, because you can have a great transcript of great grades. However, you would need to find a way to find those opportunities and get the job that you would want to have.
Great. Well, thank you all for all your great responses. Let's go ahead and open it up to questions. So if any of you have questions for our guests, you can go ahead and unmute yourself, or you can type the question into the chat box and I'll read the question out loud.
Got a question. Hi, it's Damien.
Hi, Damien.
Hey, thank you all for coming. I just wanted to ask you guys one question. There's two questions I got. So one of them is, can other alumni from other CSU schools join these clubs even now? Now, what I mean by that is I have my girlfriend, she's already got her bachelor's at another CSU. But if she was in the area, she's out here now near Sac State. But if she was curious and wanted to join any club, could she? Or is it only for students that are already enrolled, Sac State only? Just trying to see how far this network range could go.
Yes, so for us, for Beta Alpha Psi, you would need to be an enrolled student at Sac State. So that's one of the requirements. Or you can be a graduate as well. So
graduate, does it have to be a graduate of Sac State, or can it be a graduate?
You can be in your graduate program. So if you're working on a master's, but you will still need to be enrolled at the university. Gotcha.
Okay, so second question. So for me, I'm trying to start my own nonprofit. I'm trying to start a business. I'm trying to see what the wide ranges of the network that you guys have. So as far as businesses that you guys are incorporated with, is it just locally? How far does the range go and stuff like that? Because particularly, I'll fill you in. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help homeless youth education. So of course, I'll probably start here, but I'm trying to go, regional to, stateside to international at some point. And I'm just trying to see what's the range, or what's the limitation with your network? Are you guys just local and things like that? I don't mean to put y'all on the spot real heavy. I'm not trying to empty all your pennies out right here, but I'm just trying to get to know your business club, because if not, this may not be the business club for me, and that's okay. It may not be for anyone, but what I'm trying to see is if you guys can point me in the right direction if this is not.
Yeah, and do you want to answer
Sure,
that?
I can jump in. I can tell you that for the professionals that we bring in, they are from our local area. And the reason for that is, one, for convenience, because when we get back to having in-person meetings, because right now we're doing Zoom, but there will be a time when we have in-person meetings. So it makes travel a lot easier. And then secondly, 80% of our graduates stay in the area. And when I'm talking about financial services, they stay in the area and they get jobs. So it just makes sense that they network in the area that they most likely will be employed in. So that's why we bring in professionals from our local area.
Can I tack on to that before anyone else jumps in? Okay. Thank you, Dan, for that. Just saying, as far as, let's say if I wasn't part of another business club or something like that, would I still be able to reach out to you guys if I wanted advice or help and things like that? Because who knows where I'm trying to go exactly and how I'm going to get there. But like, if I could come to you guys for advice with like your program is for Financial Planning Association, if you guys would definitely have some advice for me at some point, could I always reach out to you guys and use your network? Because I'm just trying to see if it's limited to like, no, only if you're in our club, guy. Like just trying to see how much I can ask you guys for help.
So if I'm understanding, I don't think the professionals that we're bringing in that talk about investment advising and personal financial planning are in the area that you need. It sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that since you're trying to start this nonprofit, maybe the best resource for you would be the Small Business Administration, because with their business professionals and tax professionals, they could help you develop your business plan so you can get the funding to launch your organization. And it seems to me that it would be at that level, and with them, that would be most beneficial for you rather than a student club.
Okay, all right. I love what you just said to me. So you said Small Business Administration. Is that a club? I'm just getting familiar with this for my first semester out here.
It's a national organization, and they have local offices. So it's a federal government. I don't know if you call it a department or a bureau, but it's an agency of the federal government, and it's referred to as the SBA, but it stands for Small Business Administration. And like I say, they would help. They have template business plans that you can download and start working on, because it's those business plans that you're going to submit to the bank or to some lender to get the initial funding to launch your organization. And so I would use their templates and their advisors to get you going in the right direction.
Perfect, Dan. Thank you so much for your help on that one. That's all the questions I have. You guys were great. Thank you.
And Damien, I just dropped the link to the Capital Region SBDC, which is the small business that he was talking about that's local to Sacramento.
Perfect. Thank you. Do not delete this chat.
Are there any other questions? All right. Well, if not, I would like to thank you all again for joining us today for today's BizFest session. Don't forget that we have more scheduled this week, so check them all out, and maybe we'll see you again. I know I've been seeing Damien a lot. Thank you all to the club leaders for sharing your wisdom and experience with us today, and have a great one. All right. Good night.